It's economics and politics. It's change. Understanding connections between people and places is critical in the 21st century. That's why we created mywonderfulworld.org to give our kids the power of global knowledge. Go to mywonderfulworld.org for your free parent and teacher action kits. Because kids who understand our world today can succeed in it tomorrow.
What if you didn't care about being on the fast track? Instead of flying to the big interview, what if you flew somewhere else altogether? Like a village in Botswana or a tiny island in the Pacific where needs are easy to see. What if you decided to share your skills with others and help someone else get ahead? Peace Corps. Life is calling. How far will you go? To find out more, call 800-424-8580 or visit peacecorps.gov.
News Talk is online. News Talk Online is a production of Paltalk.com, the largest multimedia interactive program on the Internet with more than 4 million unique users, on demand on iTunes and on YouTube, and on Gary's blog, www.garybaumgarten.com, and www.paltalknewsnetwork.com, where you are invited to comment whether you agree with Gary or not. And thanks to our friends on CRN Digital Talk Radio, we're syndicated coast to coast across the United States to 12 million additional households. Thanks to Digital Sounds Barnsley in the United Kingdom and to ASI Radio and TV for carrying the show. Welcome back, folks. We're back at it, second half of the show, and we have only touched the tip of the fork in this phenomenon called the cell phone. That's right. This monster that I'm holding here in my hand. There it is, right there. This has changed our lives. You can fit it in your pocket. It is light as a feather. And yet it has so much power to it that it has changed our social lives. It's that simple. How did this happen? You know, we were talking before we went to the break. We just started to talk about the interactivity of a cell phone and how people have integrated that into their lives, and how it has taken over their lives in the fashion of how we interact with other people, and it's a double-edged sword. Because on the one hand, it broadens our communication. We are able to stay in contact with many more people in a shorter period of time. We have the internet at our fingertips, which says it all. You've got Google. You can find out any information you need. And it's just, it's a great thing to have. But on the other hand, it has isolated us in a very strange manner. This isolation is physical and immediate to your immediate physical surroundings. So you could be sitting in a crowded subway, and you could be sitting on a bus or in a park or on the grass with a bunch of people around you, yet you are alone. Now, this is an interesting phenomenon, folks, and I'll tell you why. Another revolution that came up many years ago in Japan, invented in Japan because of the overcrowding there, that revolution was called the Walkman. The Walkman, as you all remember, was a small tape player that had extraordinary sound to it. It came with a headset, and you put that headset on you, and you disconnected yourself from the world. It was invented in Japan because in Japan, somebody got the idea there that because, in the major cities, people going to and from work, the overcrowding, that people needed a place to be by themselves, even though they could not get away from the crowds. And in order to give them that that private spot, instead of trying to expand physically, they came up with this clever invention called the Walkman that simply immersed you in music, and you didn't hear anything else around you. And for some reason, that took and became a revolution all over the world. Everybody had to have a Walkman, and of course, these little digital media players have taken the place of the Walkmans because of technology and the advancements. But I remember the Walkman being the revolution of the time. I think it was probably in the 70s is when it was very popular, and people loved it, and everybody had to have it. And I think that the second revolution following the Walkman for personal use for ourselves is the cell phone, because the cell phone does exactly the same thing. It gives us that privacy, and there's a little bit of a catch here, though. It gives us that privacy, yet with that privacy comes the entire cyber world, and it's like a portal hole. You have your privacy there. You're not so private. I mean, everybody thinks that what they're typing and what they're saying on a cell phone is private. You're greatly mistaken. But let's just assume that you have that feeling, and most people do have that feeling of the selfness, of the being alone and being in private to type what you want to type. And that is the second revolution that followed the Walkman. That has this very adverse effect on people, and I never thought that I would see such a revolution happen again, and yet it did after the Walkman, and that is with the cell phone. So I wanted to bring up that point too and see what you thought about that. And we'll go to our next caller, who is Alan in Texas. Alan, I am pretty sure you have a cell phone, and if you do, what is the relationship between you and your cell phone, since cell phones are so so important to us these days?
Well, hello everyone. Hello, Boaz. Unfortunately, Boaz, I'm the one unique one. I still don't have one. I used to have one when the kids they were at the school, not anymore. And my job is required of me by the landline, almost 12 hours a day. So anybody wants me, they're going to call in here. But as you were saying, all these advanced technology, little gadget, has his good side, he has his bad side. And the things I don't like about it is when people